Welcome to day 18 of our 34-day angel adventure. If this is the first time tuning in, my name is Calista, founder of Angel Healing and your guide along the way. Today, we're going to be introducing you to a very kind, a very loving, very patient angel. I mean, they're all loving, but there's this extra kindness, this extra, everything's going to be okay, do everything at your own time. But I am here whenever you need that just motivation, that determination. I am here. And it is Archangel Zadkiel who comes forward in this wash of purple and magenta. If you catched Zadkiel's twin, divine feminine twin, Archeia Purities video, we talked about this violet ray, this violet fire. So let's invite in Zadkiel and this fire to fill your space as the rainbows start to come in. Closing your eyes when you're ready. And just beginning to turn your attention inward. Taking a big breath in. Holding at the top of your inhale just for a moment. And releasing. Feeling your feet connected with the floor. Feeling yourself grounded in your body. Present. Open to connect with this wonderful angel, perhaps a new angel for you, or if you have partnered with Zadkiel before, just staying a little bit open, a little bit curious as to any new teachings that he would like to share. Archangel Zadkiel, may you now come forward and be with each of us, filling the space that we're in now with your violet fire of transformation, surrender, and freedom, so that we may liberate from that which is causing distractions and toxicity, remove us from anything that no longer needs our focus or attention, as we come into greater presence, greater awareness with you and with all that we are. And so it is. Thank you. Big breath in. Really feeling Zadkiel with you, this huge, big angel, very vast, very pure. As we open up our eyes. I could probably speak for a long time about Zadkiel, friends. He's one of my favorite angels to work with, but we'll keep it nice, we'll short and sweet, or we'll aim to anyway. So Zadkiel, the first thing I want to say about Zadkiel is, I'm going to go straight to his card and also just talk about the number 18, which is perfect numerology. That's something that we didn't say when we were creating this deck. The female archangels and the male archangels are in it too. We didn't say this angel is going to be this number because of this numerology. No, we just let the angels decide, like wherever they were placed is it's perfectly matched. So the number 18 is all about self-determination. It's a very auspicious number for moving yourself forward. Great success, great abundance comes with this number, exactly matched perfectly with the qualities. When you match, when you partner with Zadkiel, this is what comes forward. He is patient, like I said, but when you are ready, if you just want to say yes, yes, if you're saying yes to more success, yes to more abundance, yes to more determination for moving yourself forward in your earthly path, upward on your spiritual ascension, Zadkiel is your guide. He also says on his card here, strengthen your boundaries. And this notion of creating boundaries came forward around about in the 1980s, probably propelled by all the self-help books that started to come on the market. And with it comes this notion that setting up boundaries separates us from the world. It doesn't. It's absolutely the opposite. It helps us to show up and be more available for other people. It's a way, it's an act of self-love where you're recognizing your own needs, you're sharing with others, you're communicating your needs to others in relationships. You are being really firm in your yes, like saying yes to what lights you up, not feeling guilty, just moving forward. You're also feeling comfortable and happy in your no. So there's no more people pleasing, there's no more spreading yourself thin. There's no compromising your time and your energy anymore. Having these boundaries supports you and supports everybody else around you. And I've met so many highly sensitive empaths and highly sensitive psychic souls that continue to develop and develop and develop on their spiritual path. And then it comes to a point where they just become so sensitive. And if they do not have boundaries set, they've not created them, they've not defined them, and they're not sticking to them, they're not strengthening them, then they become hermits. They retreat from life rather than advancing. And we're all here to advance. We all came here to grow, to change, to take life beyond that which it's been before. And we do the world a disservice by not showing up fully. And I really felt this morning when I invited Zadkiel to come in. I really felt this strongly. He helps us to notice patterns, our own patterns, the own ways that we are going against the current of our dreams, also the patterns in others. And I went for a sauna this morning. Zadkiel and his twin Purity are all for sweating every day, whether it's a hot bath, shower, workout, um, sauna, as a means of detoxification, purifying not just the body, but also the mind, also our spirit, keeping ourselves shiny in the inside out. And when I walked um, into the sauna, there was this lady on her phone. Firstly, I didn't think you could even take your mobile phones into a sauna, but there she was. And she looked at me. I think she probably picked up on my vibe going, what is she doing? She's like, I'm just doing some work. I'm just getting some work in. It's like, oh, okay. She said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm just chilling out for half an hour before, the day begins. And she's like, oh, well, yeah, I'm just getting some work in before I have to start work at 11. And I'm like, you're working before you're working? Like, where are you relaxing? Where are you taking time for yourself? And it was very clear she had no boundaries. Like, no maybe she did, but in that moment, what Zadkiel was reflective to me was she's not taking time out. She's not saying no. She's not at least putting her phone outside the sauna or even in the locker room. She's bringing it in. She's bringing everything that she probably wants to create space from, because we can't just work all the time. There's no space. There's no space. And I really felt for her. And she stayed in that sauna for half an hour, just on her phone. And then she went away to do her other work. It's so interesting. So when you start to partner Zadkiel, you might be very aware of the patterns of other people. Now, as the other angels teach us, and I'm sure you know yourself if you're on your spiritual path, is that really everybody around us is just really an aspect of us in this mirrored holographic world. And so I took something from that experience with that lady, and the patterns that you see while you're working with Zadkiel, even though you're seeing it and it feels like it's an external, it's somebody else, or it's another thing that you're seeing, bring it into self. Because you wouldn't be realizing it and seeing it if it wasn't something that was alive or could help you to become more alive in your life. Everything presents for a reason, friends. And so, yeah, just be very aware. Have your journal with you throughout working with Zadkiel. I'm going to share some journal prompts in a moment, how you can perhaps to create your own boundaries. And boundaries just isn't about your own self boundaries, it's about having boundaries with other people, telling them what are your standards in relationships? What are your non-negotiables? What you will put up with and what you won't. Like this is 101 relationships right at the start. And I've learned this through experience to just be super upfront right at the beginning so everybody knows. So you're not breaking their boundaries and they're not breaking yours. And there's this easy flow of communication. Zadkiel definitely can help us with that too. Zadkiel can also support us with anything to do with injustice, or setting up contracts, new leases on a house or an apartment, anything legal whatsoever. He has a great sense of justice. His name actually comes and translates to the righteousness of God, to the path of God, to the path of truth. And he really helps us to stay on that path of truth. I'm going to expand his imagery on social media today so you can really see his eyes and his detailing. Quite incredible. Okay, let's go into his crystal associations, friends. So the first one is amethyst. And this particular one comes from Uruguay. Oh, and it's flaking. Uruguay amethyst often tends to be darker, and it's these darker shades of violet that really hold his frequency. Also, amethyst in general helps to calm and soothe our emotions, helps us to, especially when we're journaling and we're opening up a line of communication with ourselves, with our inner being. It supports us to really get to the nitty gritty, to arrive at the truth, to bring forward great clarity without the interference, too much anyway, of the mind and the ego. It allows us just to speak that truth. The next is iolite. Iolite, which has a very similar vibe to sapphire and tanzanite, and it's often used in jewelry to mimic tanzanite and sapphire because it's a lot cheaper. But in terms of its esoteric properties, it blows them out the water. I mean, I have a love for sapphire, but iolite, if your purpose at the moment is clairvoyance, the awareness to see that which is beyond the physical, get yourself some iolite, friends. Get yourself some iolite. It's the visionary stone. It's the stone of the muses. It's the stone of opening, of seeing the truth, walking the truth. Wonderful crystal to have and also to wear. And the last crystal association I want to share of Zadkiel is yellow jasper. Yellow jasper not only helps us to be more determined, more real with ourselves, but also to have the confidence to set up and establish boundaries. To set up and establish boundaries. And this, by having great boundaries, we really do end people pleasing, we end comparison, we end codependency, or we certainly get to the heart of the matter, why these things are so active in our life. And we take back the reins of our reality. You know, Zadkiel was the first angel to say, if you want something to change, you've got to change. If you want to be better in your world, you've got to show up and be better in your world. It takes you. There's a great sense of divine responsibility again coming through with Zadkiel, not to make you feel small, but actually to make you feel big, to empower you to go, you can do it. I'm right here beside you, as you if you want me to be. If you're saying yes to Zadkiel coming in and really empowering and embodying his light, he can help you to make the changes so that you really are living the life that you've always imagined for yourself. And again, he's in my mind, he's shown me this loop of coming back to the boundaries. You know, a big part of me, and we all have it. I think we all have this ugly, lazy part that we don't show other people, or we don't show social media. We have the, and I definitely do. I have this, and I call her the subtle saboteur. And the subtle saboteur, she loves to sit on the sofa and watch movies and um, eat lots of food and just not engage with life, just be a hermit, not engage, be on our own all the time. Like that's I could easily be the subtle saboteur and allow that aspect of me to rule. But it takes grit, it takes awareness, and it takes bloody good boundaries to not let that aspect rule. And yes, putting your feet up sometimes is good. I totally get it. But when we work with Zadkiel and often with other angels, they can see us. They see all aspects of ourselves, but they also see our truth right inside that isn't identified with this and this and this and this. But sometimes it can be worthwhile to give a name to that aspect of you that sabotages, that numbs, that is distracted. In unicorn healing, this modality, beautiful modality I've taught actually for the same time as angel healing, like both came along at the same time. Every year teaching that course, we have a week where we're specifically naming that part of us. We're going on processes and journeys to identify that part of our ego, condition, self, pain, body, whatever name. Again, it's just another name to give that aspect. And we just call it out, not to judge ourselves, but just to bring light that we all have this aspect. And when we call it out and share that aspect, it no longer holds power over us because remember, everything that you deny holds power over you. I'll say that again. Everything that you deny holds power over you. So bring light to everything. Bring light to all the shadows, all the aspects of you. Notice who's ruling the show. And also at the same time, know that you're not these identities. You're not these aspects. You're everything. You're everything. You're pure awareness. This is the angel that helps us, Zadkiel. He opens our learning, very much like Raziel. Often they come forward together, Raziel and Zadkiel, to help us to understand this at a real level and a heart level, so that we're aware of our patterns. We're aware of when we're sabotaging our own dreams. And sometimes when I fall into that aspect, I'll say to myself, by allowing myself to sit on this couch and do nothing, is that propelling me forward on my dreams? Is this activity helping me? And because I'm calling it out and I'm bringing awareness to that which is normally on automatic pilot, because we do all these things and we fall into these characters, these conditioned aspects, mostly because it's just habitual, it's automatic. But when we switch the bloody light on and bring consciousness and go, is this actually helping me? Is this fueling my dreams? No. You get your ass up off the couch or wherever you distract and divert yourself, and you engage and you become alive again and you give and you become passionate for everything that you want to create. And yeah, you turn yourself back on through having these boundaries, through knowing yourself more. To help this process, friends, I'm going to share some of Zadkiel's journal prompts. He came through it with such momentum in that message. Did you feel it? I'm letting it land in me as well. Okay. So you could do the whole exercise if you have the Oracle deck, but I'm just going to pick some of these questions. So, okay, when you're ready, when you have your pen and you can pause the video, when you have your journal, I want you to write down these following questions and really just feel what comes forward. So bring to your awareness where you need to create, redefine, and strengthen your boundaries. So writing, where do I need? So taking it, bringing it to self. Where do I need to create, redefine, and strengthen my boundaries? And then just become aware of the feelings that surface. You might want to note down those feelings. What are you seeing or feeling that you need to personally unplug from? Where is there disharmony? And with what relationship? Is it the relationship with yourself, your beloved, your partner, your co-workers, your home, your guides, the space, the environment? What's showing up? What needs to be said or recreated to educate others about how you want to be treated? And anything else that flows, following this exercise, just listening and then following through. And then leaving you here with Zadkiel's affirmation for the day. Let's do it together with hands on our heart. Let's say this 3 times aloud with conviction and really owning it, friends. Okay, this is all about boundaries today, really owning it. Having boundaries empowers me to create and live my best life. Having boundaries empowers me to create and live my best life. Having boundaries empowers me to create and live my best life. And so it is. Yes. So much love, friends. We'll see you in the next video.